Okay, while those dry, I'm gonna sort these into signatures. I have no idea what I'm doing for a cover yet and how thick of a book I want, but this will be around the size that it will be, which is around 5 by 6 or so. So when I build my signatures, I try to have papers that are not similar right beside each other. And I do that usually by sorting them into a few different piles. I'm going to start with 5 signatures, I think, because that is easy to draw out on a spine when sewing. Okay, so I have 5 signatures, 10 each. And I think they might end up all going into the same book. Maybe we'll just make it a large book. I do have, this is going to be too narrow. I do have this thicker, it's a dictionary. I really liked the color, and it's falling apart, but I don't want to cut a whole inch off. We might be making a cover from scratch, but while I'm sorting, I think I will sort out this other stack that I have. So I've decided for my covers that I'm going to use this cardboard, which is actually from my paper cutter, but it's kind of in between hardcover and softcover, but it had these nice round edges, which I really liked. So I cut those down to size, and I cut a spine at 1 3/4 inches because I think I'm going to end up using all of these papers. They're just too pretty not to. So I am going to work on collaging these similar to my brown paper bag journal that I made, which I will give you a little peek. I've added color to all of these pages and still trying to decide whether to keep it for myself or not. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm going to work on collecting bits for this, and then I'll come back and collage it. Well, I forgot to hit record, so I made this little collection of purples and golden yellows, and I'm just starting to glue them on here. This is warping quite a lot, but when I glue on this side, it'll balance out. So when I left you off, I had collaged both my covers, was leaving those to dry. Unfortunately, this lovely golden ribbon stayed quite dark. Everything stayed quite dark. So what I decided to do was this was originally going to be my front cover. I made that the back cover because I liked the interest of this more. And to attach them all together, I just cut a large piece of fabric that fit the three cover, spine, cover, and glued that down. I left no gap between here because the fabric is closing in that way. It doesn't need a gap. And then I glued down these two strips of fabric as supports for the outside of the cover. And then I, using a scrap piece of paper, made myself a little template for punching my holes. I have decided, the last few books I've made was, I sewed in each signature individually with pamphlet stitch, but I just love the look of the long stitch, so that's what we're gonna do to sew in these signatures. And yeah, so I'm going to punch my holes in all of my papers and then sew these up. Okay, so I got this at the thrift store for like $1 or something, and I'm pleased because I love this color and I thought it would go quite nice. It is not waxed, but at this, I just don't care. I don't care today. Any of my wax threads that I have right now are not the kind of color that I want. And I like stitching with a curved needle. You don't have to. I'm going to speed up the stitching process, but if you would like to learn the stitching process, I have it. I show you how to do the long stitch when in the videos for making the fern book. So if you go check that out, you can learn how to long stitch yourself. So I'm going to stitch this quickly and then we'll come back. stitch this all up, and kind of wish maybe I'd use a more contrasting thread. I'm not sure. It's fine. But I like the little size of it. It's pretty thick already, but that seems to be how I like my books. I'm looking forward to doing Messy May in this, as well as a few other spreads, obviously, because it's pretty big and loaded. And there it is.